All right, we've got another implicit differentiation problem. And this one's a little bit more challenging than the last one. It involves trigonometric differentiation. And it also involves the product rule and a little bit of challenging algebra, I would say. So let's go ahead and jump in. So I've got y times the cosine of 3x minus 5y is equal to negative 7x y plus 1. And so we want the derivative of this side with respect to x. And the derivative, I'll squeeze that in, of that side with respect to x. And so just to make it real clear here, we've got a function here and then another function over here. So we've got to use the product rule, but then additionally, we've got this function in here. So we've got to use the chain rule too. On the other side, I've got this function here, although we can bring out the negative 7. But maybe we'll just deal with those together. And then I've got this other function here. Okay, so that's what we have to contend with. Just seems like a lot, but it's if we go step by step, I think we'll be okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is use a power rule. So I need to take the derivative of y with respect to x. So that's taking care of this here. And we leave the other function alone. This is product rule. Then to that, we add that we leave that alone, which is the first function. And then we need to take the derivative of the function that I circled here. So the derivative of cosine is minus sine. So I'm going to put the minus out here. Okay. And I may even want to replace that. So it's minus sine of the inside function. But because we have to use the chain rule, we need to find the derivative of the inside function. So that would be the derivative of 3x is simply 3. And the derivative of minus 5y is minus 5 dy dx. Okay, so that takes care of the left. And we'll clean it all up. I think one of the things maybe I'll do pretty immediately is just make sure that that minus sign shows up there. I think we're okay to do that because these are products, right? These are all multiplication symbols over here. And so it doesn't hurt anything if we do that. Later, there's going to be a need to do some distributive property with that 3 there, and with this piece. So it's going to get a little challenging, but I think we're still on the right path. Okay, so we have to do the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out the -7. And then I was going to leave it in, but I think I'll just bring it out. And I need to take the derivative of x, which is 1. And then times the derivative. No, I'm sorry, that's just times y, because we're using the product rule. So it's 1y. So you leave the second function alone, and then it's plus leave the first function alone and take the derivative of the second function with respect to x. Okay. There is, I'm not quite sure what happened over here. Oh, because it's a bracket, right? So there is, I don't want to ignore this 1 here, but the derivative of 1 is 0. So I don't have to, the derivative of a constant is 0. So, okay, so I've got dy dx times the cosine of 3x minus 5y. And then I am going to have to distribute this. And I'll just make it a little lighter so it doesn't obstruct too much. So it's going to be, it's just that minus sign. And it's going to be 3y sine of 3x minus 5y and that takes care of the first one. That takes care of this one here. And close that out. And then I've got a minus sign. That's this minus sign. Minus 5y. It's this y over here. Times the sine of 3x minus 5y. And then the dy dx. Well, let's close that out. And then dy dx. And over here, I'm going to go ahead and distribute the -7 back in. All right, now I have to take all the things that have a dy dx and let's move them to the left. And then everything that does not have a dy dx, and we'll move it to the right. And I'm going to go ahead and put them all in one brackets. That takes care of this. I can very, very lightly circle things that I use or even cross them out. I think just like that. And then let me go ahead and that's already on the left, but it's minus a minus, right? So that's going to be a plus 5y times the sine of 3x minus 5y. And I've already taken care of the dy dx because it's over here. And then let me I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna move this to the left, so the minus sign is gonna become a plus sign. And of course, factor out the minus 7x or factor out the dy dx. Really, so plus 7x. And the dy dx part is already here. All right. Now I'm going to move the rest to the other side. So that would be, let's go ahead and do it in just maroon. So this is going to move over and join this piece. So when it moves over, it becomes 3y sine of 3x minus 5y. That takes care of that whole thing. There's minus 7y, which was already on that side. And then the final thing, oh great, so I can scroll. That's perfect, because I just need one, I think I just need one more line. Here, I need to divide, and I'm gonna do a little copying here as a little cheat over here. Let me see if I can do this. I'm writing a little bit up, not very straight, but really, because I'm just taking that and putting it underneath for the division, because I'm going to cancel that out. But of course, I need another one over here, right? And I'm going to make it small because so hopefully you see where I'm going with this, hopefully. Because that's pretty much the answer. The expression on the right side is the answer. Obviously, that whole thing cancels with this. And therefore, dy dx is equal to this expression, which is pretty complex, but that's how you do this kind of problem.